You're watching Football Daily, and here are the week's biggest transfer headlines. With less than 2 weeks of the window left, the rumour mill is in overdrive, so we've got a big show for you today. Let us know the transfer you want to see happen in the comments, and whatever gets the most likes will be read out on this weekend's Sunday Vibes. Anyway, let's get going. We were treated to the very best of Paul Pogba on the weekend, with the French midfielder running the show in Manchester United's 5-1 thrashing of Leeds United, becoming the first Red Devils player to register 4 assists in a Premier League game in the process. Nevertheless, speculation over his Old Trafford future is not going away, with his contract up next summer and strong links with a return to France persisting. PSG have been front-runners for his signature all summer. Pogba is understood to prefer a move to Real Madrid or Barcelona, but with both clubs holding back on spending, and with former employers Juventus instead opting for Emmanuel Locatelli, the French giants appear to have little competition. However, the arrival of Lionel Messi means it's unlikely they will pursue him until next year, when he'll be available on a free. And should Pogba decide not to pen a new deal at Old Trafford, his head could be turned by the prospect of a considerable pay increase at the Parc des Princes. According to Miguel Delaney at The Independent, PSG could offer the Frenchman a contract worth €600,000 a week, a significant rise on the estimated £290,000 a week he currently earns in the Premier League. If this turns out to be true, United could have a struggle on their hands. While the club is no doubt ready to offer Pogba a decent pay rise, they would surely be unable to match PSG. For context, their current earner David De Gea earns less than £400,000 a week. Pogba also turns 29 next year, so may feel he only has one chance left at bagging a big increase in his salary. United fans will have to hope the arrival of French teammate Raphael Varane and the prospect of silverware at Old Trafford will be enough to encourage him to stay. Sticking at Manchester United for our next story, as Jesse Lingard could be on his way out at Old Trafford before September. As we know, the England international found a new lease of life on loan at West Ham last season. But with the East London club seemingly unwilling to meet Manchester United's £30 million valuation of the 28-year-old, it looked like he was set to fight for a place in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side this term. But there have been rumblings this week that Lingard could in fact be set for a return to the London Stadium on a permanent basis, with reports suggesting that United had lowered their asking price to £20 million. Both Arsenal and Everton have also been linked to the attacking midfielder, who registered 9 goals and 4 assists for the Hammers last term, and a favourable fee could see other clubs come to the table. And West Ham's stance was reiterated by assistant manager Stuart Pearce this week, telling TalkSport that the club wanted him to return, but the ball is in United's court. And while Lingard has said he's happy to stay in his current situation, Gary Neville has also suggested he should leave United for the sake of his career. But what would you do if you were Lingard? Let us know in the comments. Just before we moved on, make sure you're liked and subscribed to Football Daily with that notification bell switched on. We put videos like this out every single day. Make sure you're there to enjoy it all. Over to Arsenal now, where following the disappointment of their opening night loss to Brentford, the Gunners could face some more outgoings in the transfer market. According to David Ornstein at The Athletic, Hector Bellerin is growing increasingly frustrated at the Emirates and is looking for a way out, having informed Mikel Arteta and technical director Edu of his desire to leave. Apparently, the Spaniard is willing to take a pay cut to make that happen. Bellerin didn't feature against Brentford, with youngster Nuno Tavares replacing right-back Callum Chambers late on, and made just 3 Premier League appearances after February last term. It's understood the club are looking at ways to make a move work for both parties. Inter Milan were previously seen as frontrunners for his signature, but with the Italian champions having now signed Denzel Dumfries from PSV Eindhoven, that ship looks to have sailed. A swap deal with Barcelona involving Emerson Royal, who only recently arrived from Real Betis, is supposedly being looked at, as is a similar deal with Atletico Madrid involving Kieran Trippier. It has also been announced that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alexandre Lacazette will once again be unavailable to Arteta this weekend, as the Gunners look to bounce back against a strong Chelsea side. This has only added to speculation that the pair could leave the Emirates before the window shuts, with a rumoured swap deal involving Aubameyang and Barcelona's Philippe Coutinho doing the rounds this week. Lacazette, meanwhile, has just a year left on his contract and has been linked with the likes of Juventus, Monaco and Atletico Madrid over the last year. However, his estimated £200,000 a week wages could be a turn-off for many suitors, who may only consider that kind of salary in the context of a free transfer next summer. Either way, there's a feeling that if the Gunners want to sign a centre-forward this time around, that Lacazette or Aubameyang will need to be sold first. However, it's now seemingly only a matter of time until Martin Ødegaard will be representing Mikel Arteta's side. According to reports, the player's agent flew into London this week to discuss a deal, with the Gunners close to agreeing a £34 million fee for the Norwegian, who made 14 Premier League appearances on loan for them last term. Fabrizio Romano reported on the weekend that the 22-year-old has always been Arteta and Edu's priority at number 10, and it looks like they've landed their man. This of course means that James Maddison is completely out of the picture, although supporters will be pleased to know that the club are continuing their pursuit of Sheffield United's Aaron Ramsdale, having reopened negotiations for the young goalkeeper. But Arsenal fans, we want to hear from you. How excited are you about this move? Let us know in the comments. There's been a lot of talk about the future of Cristiano Ronaldo over the last couple of days, from rumours that who's being lined up as Kylian Mbappe's replacement at PSG, to a report on El Chiringuito that Carlo Ancelotti wanted him at Real Madrid, only for the Italian manager to rubbish the report on his personal Twitter. And on Tuesday, another club has seemingly entered the mix, and brace yourselves, because this is a seriously outrageous shout. According to Corriere dello Sport, Ronaldo's agent Jorge Mendes has offered him to Manchester City. Mendes is apparently working hard to offer the Portuguese star an alternative to Juventus, where he almost missed out on Champions League qualification last season. And with PSG not a viable option, at least while Mbappe is still at the club, a move to the Etihad may be seen as a potential backup. The report goes on to say that Manchester City's ownership would consider the move, and given Ronaldo's huge commercial value, this isn't surprising. But whether Ronaldo himself would make the switch to Eastlands and tarnish his legacy at rivals United in the process seems pretty unlikely to us. Nevertheless, City do need an option if the Kane situation doesn't work out, and according to the Daily Mail, while they plan to make an improved offer for the English striker before the end of the window, they will end their interest in him if they are unable to get a deal done before the deadline. As you'd expect, both Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe have been touted as targets next summer, should this happen. Now onto one of Europe's breakthrough stars of last season, who Tottenham are also targeting. Dusan Vlahovic experienced a slow start to his time at Fiorentina after moving from Partizan Belgrade in 2018, but netted 21 goals for La Viola last campaign, 20 of those coming from mid-December onwards. So, unsurprisingly, he's had a lot of interest, with Spurs considering him as a potential Harry Kane replacement, and Juventus reportedly in the race. But while the Bianconeri are yet to make an offer, Nuno Espirito Santo's side reportedly have, and they're not the only ones. La Liga champions Atletico Madrid are also keen on signing the Serbian international, and whilst Fiorentina are reluctant to sell their number 9, they'll surely be rubbing their hands together at the prospect of a bidding war between two clubs. Initial reports suggest both sides put up €50 million as a first offer, and since then, Diego Simeone's club have increased theirs to €60 million up front, with add-ons down the line. It's also been claimed by Sky Sports Italia that Atleti would be willing to put up Argentine centre-back Nayon Perez as part of a deal, with it looking like Vlahovic's club and international teammate Nikola Milenkovic could also be on his way out of Florence this window. Fiorentina seem content to let Atletico Madrid and Spurs drive up his value, having not set an asking price for Vlahovic and with the striker happy to remain in central Italy. He even bagged a brace on his season debut in the Coppa Italia, showing his form. This transfer could go right down to deadline day. So that was Transfer Talk on Football Daily for another week. Remember, the story that you most want to see happen will feature on Sunday Vibes this weekend, so get in the comments down below. Make sure you're liked and subscribed to the channel, and we'll see you next time.